All right.
Cool. Now that I finally figured it out. So this week we will be doing writing techniques part two. So so far in the unit, we've already gone over the introduction of persuasive techniques, how they're used in propaganda, and now we're going to learn how to use persuasive techniques in our writing so that we write more persuasively. So a review for persuasive techniques. So the first is rhetorical questions. So a question asked in order to create dramatic effect or to make a point rather than get an answer. So an example of this is, I'll do my homework when pigs fly. So it's a question. It's a question, but you're not supposed to get an answer.
Alright, so that sounds about right.
No. And then, let's see. Next is use of facts and statistics. So using knowledge to get your point across. So that's kind of just like saying, like 60% of students get more work done and are more productive in class when they get up to 6 to 7 hours of sleep a night. And then the next is appeal to an expert. So that's like the Crest or Colgate commercials where they're just like the toothpaste commercials where they're like, oh, one in three dentists agree that Crest is better for your teeth than Colgate. So pretty much like, oh, you listen to what a dentist has to say versus to what like an I told you that you should use Crest over Colgate. So next is use of jargon. So jargon refers to specialized language of a professional or occupational group. So think of like kind of like Law and Order or like court shows or like Judge Judy, where they're using terms like objection, overruled, sustained, like all these like law terminology that if like a lawyer was talking to you like how they would talk to like one of their lawyer friends, you would just look at them and just be like, English, please. I don't understand what you're saying. Or another example could be, oh, I'm going to give you guys a formative assessment at the end of the class today. Well, students don't necessarily know what a formative assessment is, but teachers would know. So formative assessment is pretty much just a fancy word for a test. So next is personal examples. So writing about personal experiences you've had in your life. So an example of this could be, my favorite place to go in the summer is Candy Lake Park because I get to ride on my favorite roller coaster, which is a lot because I hate roller coasters. But this is an example. So repetition can be an effective way to gradually remind the reader of the message. So think of like what is it, like the chapter 11 furniture commercial where it's like constantly repeating the phrase chapter 11 furniture throughout the commercial. Or the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland is constantly saying, I'm late for a very important date. And then next is bold claim. So something so outlandish and exaggerated that even if it may be true, it's very unlikely. Ooh. So that's just like if like say your parents are just like, oh, when I had to walk to school, I had to walk in like 2 feet of snow. I had to like my walk was like 2 miles. You only have to walk like a block. Where they exaggerate, but they're pretty much saying, oh, I didn't like walking to school, and my experience was much worse than yours versus well, yeah, it was walk to school, like walking from our house to school is long, but it's not that bad. And then next is directed at the audience. So convincing viewers to believe and agree with you and know who you're talking to first. So an example of this is, say I'm giving a TED talk to a whole stadium full of teachers. I know that I'm probably going to talk about education because it's a stadium full of teachers. So I know I'm going to talk about education, my experience with education, since they will all be able to relate to it. And it's kind of what they came to see anyways when you talk about education. So next is emotive language. So words and phrases to make the reader feel something. So an example of this is, we were absolutely devastated when we found out our favorite ice cream place shut down for the summer this year. So like that, so saying devastated, which is showing emotion. So like when you read it, you're probably like, oh, this person was crushed. They couldn't get their ice cream this summer. So last but not least is, I ate spicy food and had the mask on is like, ha. So exaggeration. So use of superlative form of the adjective to add strength to your argument to make the reading more believable. So that's just like saying, I have to get Dunkin' Donuts in the morning, otherwise I'll die. Well, I'm not gonna die. I'll just be grouchy. We're gonna get my ducks. So now we're going to be playing Kahoot. And does anyone have any questions so far? No? Too short. All right. You say that, but watch him prove it. Oh, are you waiting for yours to load? I would say if it doesn't work on your computer, you can use your phone. If that's easier. Alright. So let's start. So persuasive techniques. So question 1. Which of these is an example of a rhetorical question? So my bag weighs a ton. 1 in 3 people drink coffee every day. Is rain wet? Yep, is rain wet? Because it's a question that you're not supposed to answer. It doesn't need an answer. Okay, true or false? Use of factors or statistics is all about using knowledge to get your point across. Yep, true. So using factors and statistics is all about getting your point across. So using knowledge to get your point across. So think of like the smoking commercials that you see on YouTube or the vaping commercials. Ooh. See where it was.
Say when you never.
Alright, question 3. What is
Not
an example of direct
Usually
evidence
yes, but not
a jury convicting someone of being guilty? A scientist explaining physics to first graders, a teacher giving a TED talk to other teachers. Okay. So the correct answer is giving a TED talk to other teachers, because pretty much a jury convicting someone of being guilty is kind of like an all like unanimous and they already know, so it's a group of people instead of just directed at the audience being one person. So think of like someone who's like stand up kind of, and the reason why scientists explain physics to first graders is because first graders aren't gonna understand physics. Right. Next. Right. So what is the definition for use of jargon? So writing a personal experience you've had in your life, specialized language of a group or professional occupational group. Words and phrases to make the reader feel something, and adjectives to add strength to make your writing more believable. I don't know. Oh, what? Yeah.
We'll get the same one.
So think of like, example could be the picture that I used. Pretty much, it's a video game called Ace Attorney, and it's all about like it's like a court simulator kind of.
I always thought that jargon was just another name for like, someone says something don't make sense. Something like that.
Yeah, it can make sense to them, but this doesn't necessarily make sense to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. So if I don't get dunks every morning, I'll die. So is this personal experience, a rhetorical question, use of jargon, or exaggeration? It is exaggeration because pretty much if I don't end up getting dunked in, I won't die, I'll just be grouchy.
You press the right one.
I think I said something.
Alright, so the victims were executed in cold blood. Is this emotive language, personal experience, bold claims, or repetition? I guess.
None of us got it right.
Come on.
Okay.
Ball playing.
So
You could've
we
done
all
like,
did.
well, I mean, I don't know.
It could be both, but the correct answer is emotive language. So think about it this way. If on paper I said victim died on the sidewalk and nobody, like, random victim found dead on the sidewalk versus victims were executed in cold blood, which one would sound more appealing to you?
Not that one.
No.
Victim from, probably.
So
No.
what?
So that one,
It's a trick one. Alright, so let's see. If instead of saying victims were executed in cold blood, victim. You say victim executed and killer unknown. So pretty much it's like the person was killed, but nobody knows. So just a fancy word for saying executed, so it knows language. So I'm late for a very important stage. Is this an example of repetition, emotive language, or directed at onto audience? Yep, repetition. It's saying I'm late twice. Alright, this is an example of, so more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette. Is this exaggeration, use of jargon, bold claims, or appeal to an expert?
Oh, I think I got this one wrong.
Oh, no, I confirm.
I definitely got this one wrong. Oh,
Yeah.
never mind.
So, the correct answer is appeal to an expert.
As well as appeal to an expert, then why would I assume that the expert is the one smoke?
Well, because this was like back in like the day when like they didn't know the effects of smoking. So this was like the 40s or the 30s where they're like, smoking is good for you, it's great for your health, kids should do it too. When later they find out, oh no, that's a horrible idea because you're gonna die. So I think pretty much like promoting smoking, and they're saying doctors smoke more Camels than other cigarettes, so you're just like, oh,
It's
well,
probably
we're
true.
not.
Probably true.
Maybe. So they're saying doctors, so, well, if the doctor's doing it, I guess I can do it too.
Doctors did smoke a lot more than
Alright, true or false? Bold claims are outlandish and exaggerated. That even though it might be true, it's very unlikely. So, picks up 5 times more women than a Lamborghini. That is true.
I put false in it too.
Why'd you put false?
Well, the last time we did it. Because there's no way that thing picks up more chicks than Lamborghini.
Well, yeah, but it's a bold claim.
Yeah, but I didn't think it was
There's problems.
I mean, I know for a fact I wouldn't get in a van.
If I had a car like that, anyways, I just turn around and solve all the money that were.
Alright, last question. Going to my favorite lake to swim would be an example of, would it be emotive language or personal experience? Personal experience, because it's my favorite lake. Yay.
I almost beat Brian.
Right. So now, where is this? In this. Okay. So now we're going to be playing another game. So this is the persuasion game. So persuade me not to give you a test. So the rules are you must use all persuasive techniques you have learned. You must work together as a team to persuade me. The max amount of points you can earn is 10 points. If you use the following phrases, I don't know, because I said so, whine or complain, or bribe me in any way, shape, or form, you will lose a point. If you're below 5 points, you must take the test. You also have 3 lifelines. And lifelines are when I give you an example of the persuasive technique.
Just to correct my class.
I don't want to do this. Yeah, we shouldn't want to take a test.
Jason.
right. So, how would you use exaggeration to, this Parker's in a different room. Do you know which room she's in? No, not really. Okay, thanks. Welcome. Alright, so how would you use an exaggeration to persuade me not to give you a test? Yes.
You could have them.
Yeah.
Okay, look at that.
The camera's on? Is it?
Oh yeah, no, that camera's not on. I'm recording this for a student teaching thing. So how would you use exaggeration? Remember what was in the Kahoot?
If you give me any time, I'm gonna die.
Yep. Everyone says that. Okay, so far you have 1 point. So, what about, use of facts and statistics?
Oh, can't say that.
Where'd she go?
I don't know.
Not sure where she went.
Huh?
She didn't say where she was going.
I'm not sure how to use that.
Well, you can make up the fact, it doesn't necessarily have to be true. So just make up a fact of why I shouldn't give you a test.
You give me a handsome gun mail and a pack of odds. Oh, no.
I would say that would be a bold claim. But it counts. You want to use that for bold claims? Okay. You also have 3 lifelines. But if you go over 3, I take a point away.
I don't like this at all.
Here comes this way. I thought games were supposed to be fun, so it's fun for me.
Good for you, not for me.
Remember, you still have 3 lifelines.
So how many is that? Okay, I guess I'll use the one for
Alright. So which one do you want to use it for?
the use of facts.
Okay. So an example of facts and statistics could be in a study, 60% agree that when teachers give out a random test, most students end up becoming too stressed out and end up failing the test.
I think we skip over that one for now.
Alright. So what about a rhetorical question?
Be like, do you really wanna get me a test? Alright. I don't like this at all. I hate this. This is a lot.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, and I can't say I don't know. I don't know.
Or you lose point.
Right. Alright, what one now?
Alright. So far you only have 3 points. So you have emotive language directed at the audience, repetition, personal examples, use of jargon, facts and statistics, and appeal to an expert.
What do you want me to do?
What about appeal to an expert? Think of the dentist commercial.
They'll put some Oreo.
Okay, I didn't know which one was you were looking at, so I was just like,
Yeah, I was like. Hold on. I feel like other teachers don't give tests.
They said you want to leave that one till when Chase comes back.
Well,
I don't
You
do
want
it.
to just done 3 points and he has to come back.
he has to. Oh, I thought we were taking turns. Okay, I'll wait. This is hard. I don't like this.
I mean, if he doesn't get back, I am gonna have to continue the game. But then I'll have to talk that same thing.
I'm not sure, I know. The end of both emails, I'm not sure if that has happened yet. So. Sorry about the confusion. I thought it would be done by now, but.
This was a fun game. Why don't you play
Oh, I was gonna make it so much harder.
What were
Did we
you gonna
lose
do?
Chase or what?
Yeah, we lost.
I think we lost them. I was gonna bring in a D20, which is a dice of 20 sides. And I was gonna flip it up in the air, and if it was under 10, I would make it super hard for you guys to answer the question. Or if it was over 10, I'd give you an example.
Oh.
So it's totally up to chance and the dice.
That's so rude.
We didn't even lose a, what is it called?
Like one?
Yeah, we never even used them.
You have a huge group though.
I was
for
gonna
your-
say, I thought you guys used
It's
two.
just me. This one left.
Oh. I'm optimistic.
I don't even remember what we said.
Alright.
I don't wanna do anymore. I don't wanna do anymore.
What about a personal example? I don't take tests, though.
All the other tests I've done, I failed or something.
Okay. Personal experience.
Oh, for emotive language, maybe like. Hold on, be like, I'll be really stressed out if you give me a test. Why do you want to make me stressed out?
Alright, you're at 5. What about use of factor statistics?
Nope.
Nope. Nope. I didn't give you the last one.
How is hard?
Alright, what about
I think, I could do repetition,
alright,
but I gotta think.
alright.
I'm really bad at tests. Please don't give me tests. I'm really bad at tests. I'm done.
You're done?
I'm done.
Okay. Alright, Chase, it's your turn.
Negative 5 ones. Oh, you're resetting it for him?
Yep.
Ooh.
He missed the whole thing. Yeah. Everyone has to suffer. Alright. So, how would you persuade me not to give you tests using exaggeration?
Do I have to go again?
You don't. He does. You're all
Okay,
set.
I'm done. I'm done.
I would say go to your Google Classroom and start on activity 2.
Good one.
Part two? It says part two. right?
Yep, persuasive techniques part 2.
Is it a rainfall?
Nope, should be. But if you round the star on the right front, you can't, but also the little bit.
No. it's a rainfall.
Alright, Chase, remember, if you get less than 5, that's a test. So how would you use exaggeration? Start at the top? Alright. Okay, if you want. So a rhetorical question, a question asked in order to create dramatic effect or to make a point rather than to get an answer.
And yes, I have to do some.
How would you use rhetorical questions to persuade them not to give you a test? Remember, you have 3 lifelines. If you use more than a given 3, they take away a point.
I guess. The total cost.
No, so I could simply just say no. So. Think of the Kahoot. What was the question for rhetorical question? What was the answer? You want to use a lifeline? Or you can take it. Alright. So rhetorical question could be, you want me to take a test? Do pigs fly?
No.
They could.
What's dramatic effect? So that would be an example of rhetorical question. You can also use the pig fly.
That's what it's gonna use, I don't understand that.
Alright. So what about use of facts or statistics? Now you can make up facts or statistics. I'm not looking for realism, just that you know what you mean.
So.
So think of the vaping commercials. Are you seeing them on YouTube?
Fact I thought of is. Would has to be real too.
You completely made up.
Staring at a paper for more than an hour to damage your eyesight.
Yep.
Good.
Alright,
You
so,
could write the papers.
what about appeal to an expert? So think Colgate or dentist commercials, toothpaste commercials.
Experts shall not name people on task. Or taking tasks.
What experts?
Scientists.
Shush.
Just say scientists.
What were you gonna say?
I'm trying to think, isn't like there,
I would say,
isn't there a name for a scientist that like studies blood and stuff? Not like that.
and say for example, you have most of it. What am I studying to become? So you could say teachers recommend that students should not take tests because. Okay, so next is use of jargon. Now I've had to give students an example for this one because this one's pretty hard. So an example of this could be. Teachers give out formative assessments all the time. Why should you give this to us now since it's just going to stress us out? An informative assessment is a fancy word for a test. You can use the word formative assessment.
Why did you just give us so many, what was it,
Formative assessment.
formative assessments instead of actual work?
Prior to 4, alright.
I just moved that one out. If I'm forced to sit down and do a test, I won't do it.
Okay. You're gonna have to explain that one. So why, how is that personal experience? Will you just stare at the test or turn your laptop off?
Yeah.
Alright. So repetition. So repetition can be effective way of gradually reminding the reader of their message.
So. I don't like tests. I'm telling you, I don't like tests.
Alright, so bold claim, something so outlandish and exaggerated that even though it may be true, it's very unlikely.
Last time I tried doing a test that caught on fire.
Yeah. Alright,
That's exaggerated.
you could also do emotive language or exaggeration. Tempted to see what you say for exaggeration.
Emotive language. What's it mean by like feels? Basically,
More emotional. So emotive, so emotive means emotion.
could I put first? You could use some for motives if we're doing the test this all on it. Talk about sitting in a chair for so long, backside cramping.
How do you feel when your back starts cramping?
Like you want to get up and not do the test anymore.
Chase. You're using your microphone. Oh, you use one.
So far, you have 8.
Jeez, you doing that by yourself and you have that many points, that's awesome.
Directed and chaos.
If you want, you only have 8 points. Stop where you are. Or do you want to go for all 10? Alright, so speed against exaggeration, so I don't get my streak. So far, every single class has said for exaggeration, if I take this test, I'm gonna die. Darn, that was close. Alright. Okay, so now we're going to be using persuasive techniques to write more persuasively. So instead of saying our roof needs to be fixed because it's leaking, instead we're going to say our dilapidated roof desperately needs fixing as it is leaking into all the rooms of the house.
Never heard that word before. So I've never heard that word before. Dilapidated.
Dilapidated means kind of like warped. Yeah. So next one is, I really like this soup. It's really good. This soup is absolutely delectable. I love it. So delectable is another word for I like. Or the soup is absolutely fantastic. So it's delicious. Or I like it. So now we're going to be doing activity 2, which is on Google Classroom. It should be under week 412, then persuasive techniques part 2, and then activity 2. You want to open it in Candy and copy. All right. So, directions are be more persuasive. So, read the following sentence, then rewrite them in a more persuasive way. You shouldn't change the essence of the sentence, but you can add and change words to incorporate techniques of persuasion. The first one has been done as an example. So again, our roof needs to be fixed because it's leaking. Our dilapidated roof desperately needs fixing as it is leaking into all the rooms of the house. So, how would you say you should buy this pen in a more persuasive way?
You should buy this.
So an example of this.
You could put, you should buy the best pen on the market right now.
Pretty much what you're trying to do is sound like you're the smartest person in the room. Or like you're trying to sell someone something.